Okay, so some of you may or may not remember from last year, we did some kind of crazy birthday yoga stuff. This year is slightly different. So last year we did like 35 squats because I turned 35 and like other crazy things like that. I think we held planks for like 35 seconds a bunch of times. Do you remember that? Yeah. So this year is a little bit different. This year, my old rotator cuff injury has been a little bit naggy. And so I spent some time with the PT, and then my husband Jason is also finding that he has a shoulder injury that he's been dealing with. So we've both been like going to the same PT office. Anyway, so we've learned a bunch of like really great shoulder like supportive movements and like ways to work on increasing shoulder strength, but also not increasing like pain in the shoulders, which has really been the problem, right? So what I wanted to do this today is we're going to go through basically like a shoulder yoga class, shoulder focused class, with some really good warm-ups, good mobility work for the muscles that support the rotator cuff and the shoulder joint. And then do some strength moves for that area of the body as well. And there is, sort of like that high level option at the very end that anybody can feel free to skip, but I'm just going to throw it in there since, it's birthday again. We're going to go a little while. So that'll be there. But it's a lot of kind of thinking about supporting the shoulder joint. So I know, just wanted to get this demo like right away at the beginning. We've talked a lot about anytime you're in like tabletop or plank or even down dog, like getting that like extra push. So you're kind of rounding through your upper back. So instead of being here or even here, like we might normally, where here's like a little bit pushing into the ground and then here's that like little bit extra. So it's both these low ribs pulling in, creating core engagement, and also armpit serratus, like really engaging to press up through your upper back. So that's going to be like the main kind of thing that, and when we get to the strength moves that we're going to focus on. But before we get there, we'll do some rolling out with the massage balls and some breathing exercises and then some mobility moves. But that's like, just you have a visual for it when we get there. That's the like really getting that extra without rounding through your spine. So, sound okay? All right. So we are going to start. So we need our massage balls, 2 blocks, and a blanket. So we're going to start with the massage ball. And there's a lot of places in our shoulders that we can use these. We're mainly going to go just kind of like from the neck to like the middle part of the back here. And then we're going to just a little bit of these lats on the outside. So that's kind of the main place we'll do our massage balls, but it's your own body and your own class. If you feel like you need to move around a little or spend some more time in other places, totally fine. So we're going to do this first, and then we're going to get into our breathing when we get into the other supportive exercises that we're going to do, because we kind of lose it once we do the massage balls anyway. So let's grab your massage balls. We'll keep your blanket and your blocks like within arm's reach. That way you don't have to sit back up later. And then I'll go back to you guys to kind of see this. So if you scooch up to the top of your mat and you place these massage balls right at, this is our C7, that's kind of like where you can feel it, it kind of humps out, and then lay back and have your knees bent and your feet on the floor. That's going to be the best way to position yourself. And then if you've got long hair, make sure it's out of the way because it won't feel good if it gets trapped underneath those balls. All right, so our first stop is right at the top of the shoulders. These are the traps, and when we're compensating, for example, if there's a torn rotator cuff or you've got some other injury in your shoulder, most of the time the traps, the trapezius muscle will compensate, especially these upper traps here. So this is a lot of times where I feel that pain. I think a lot of people are, follow me in that. And so this is a good place to spend some time. So you can do a couple of different things with your massage balls. The first thing is just to kind of relax over them. And we've done this before, so if there's something you guys know you want to do, just go for it. Other options to reach your arms up towards the ceiling and then to move your arms. So that might mean like biceps towards your ears, hands towards the floor, and then going the opposite direction where your biceps come along your sides, palms to the floor. So So you can go up and overhead, or you can also go crossways, like you give yourself a hug and then open up. Or you can even like circle around. And you might like one of those and not the other or whatever. It's totally fine just to play around and see what you like. You can also kind of lean a little bit into one side. If you, like me, have a very specific injury spot, then you can kind of dig into that side a little bit. Make sure if you're doing circles or anything like that, you go both directions. Nice. And then you can push into your feet a little or a lot. So if you push in a lot, you're going to get a little lift of your hips, and that'll put more pressure into your shoulders. So you're option there if you like that or not. We can also give yourself a hug and roll into one side and then the other, so you get a little bit more depth there. Nice. Good. So we're not going to spend like a crazy amount of time in these massage balls, but this top spot tends to be for most people like really where it's intense. So feel free to stay here if you need a little bit more time in that position. Otherwise, let's just slowly roll down like one vertebrae, so just a little bit. And then again, any of those moves work. So you can keep like circling with the arms overhead. You can relax your arms and just rest. You can lift your hips up a little bit, and you can even actively just like roll a little bit. That can be really intense though, so be careful with that. Good. Make sure you're breathing while you're doing this. Your body's feeling like it's in a safe place. Nice. Good. And then whenever you feel ready, again, we'll just go like one vertebrae down, just like a little bit of movement. Maybe just a rib. You'll feel it, right? So I'm going to lead us through the time, but again, feel free to move at your own pace. If there's a place you want to hang out a little longer, that's okay. Nice. Seems like everybody's needing this. Everybody doing all right? Good. Okay, good. Good. Nice big breaths. Nice slow movements. Good. Let's try to make our way down just a little bit farther. We're basically going to end at the bottom of our rib cage. So we'll just keep kind of slowly moving our way down. It's okay if you need to go back to a spot and hang out there a little bit longer. We're just trying to make sure these muscles are nice and awake and they're not stuck together so much, so that as we start to put weight on them in a little while, that they're moving better. Nice. Okay, go ahead and move down just a little bit more. So we should be getting close to the bottom of your rib cage now. Maybe not quite there, but pretty close. Nice. Good. Keep breathing nice and slow. All right, and then making our way down to the bottom of your rib cage. You might find that you want to move side to side a little bit, like in bigger moves here. Maybe your knees want to go with you. Or maybe bringing your weight into your heels and lifting your hips up feels a little better in this position. You can also push your triceps into the ground and help kind of facilitate a little bit of rocking motion if that feels good. Good. Nice. Let's take about 3 more breaths. So feel free to revisit any spot you need to. Good. Let's go one more breath here, and then we're going to take it into our lap. Okay. Well, come on up. Let's sit up for a second. We're going to take one ball out because 2 might be a little much on our laps here. But we can always adjust chest, okay? So your lats are, if you find your shoulder blade, they're this like along the side. Think of it as like your wing muscle, if we had wings. So we're gonna put the massage ball here and just carefully roll it down this spot, which would be along the side of your back. So if your vertebrae are here, you're like maybe 6 inches or so off to this side. Does that make sense? All right, so we're gonna carefully roll to the side. Hopefully this won't be too intense. It might be really intense.
Are we starting at the top or the bottom?
Let's start at the top of
Okay.
it. So basically, just at the bottom of our shoulder blade. A little bit rolled off to the side, and you can lay kind of sideways as you do this, and that'll be helpful to get into that spot. Now, I wouldn't suggest putting all of your weight on the massage ball because it's probably really intense. Generally, people do this with a larger object like a foam roller. Is a little bit less intense, so this can be pretty big. So if you're on your side, yeah, right, Jason?
Yeah, it's intense.
If you're on your side, you can put, leave your weight in your legs. You can put your top elbow down, and then we'll just slowly roll our way down. Woo. Now, it might be a little intense to roll here, so if it's better for you to just sit up and literally move the ball, that could be another way to do that. So you might hang out, maybe you've got like 50% of your weight or something like that on your lat. Take a deep breath in. Nice slow breath back out. Good. So we're seeking out those spots that feel intense and trying to relax into them. Good. Pull it down again. We won't spend an inordinate amount of time here because I know this is super intense. I feel it too. Nice slow breath in. Slow exhale. Woo. We got about 2 more spots or so on this side. Next little roll down. You could very slowly move it a little bit side to side if you want. That might be too much. It's okay to just be still. Right. Big move. Yeah. I think it's easier as it gets away from the shoulder blade, in my personal opinion. Last spot here in our lats. Nice little move. Remember, you can lift your torso up and move the ball down a little bit. Okay, give me 3 nice slow breaths on this side. Come on out. Whew. Okay. And then we'll stop. Is that okay? You might need a second to stretch it. Didn't know you were tight there, did you? Surprise! Okay, we'll try it on the side. So you're gonna get just below the shoulder blade on this outside border. You don't want to be on the shoulder blade though. Make sure you're below it. Good. Everybody right? Yeah. Okay. Remember, you can have weight in your opposite hand. You can have weight in that same side elbow, in your hip, and your legs. So it's not all on the ball. Maybe there's a little side to side rock. Maybe not. Maybe you're just still breathing. Don't forget to breathe. I know this can be really intense. Really focus on trying to relax as much as you can. Good. So we have about 5 stops along this little adventure on this side. Roll it down to the next one. Just a little roll. Deep breathe in. Good. Okay. All right, so roll it down to the next little spot. That's it, everybody. We got 2 more rolls. Good, nice and slow. And breathe out. Nice. Last time, and if you need to roll back up to the beginning, that's also okay. If you've reached the bottom of the rib cage there, you can head back up towards this shoulder blade for one last moment. Okay, last 3 more breaths, nice and slow. Whew. Everybody, come on up, we'll stretch a little. That right side. Okay. Everybody all right? Yeah, okay. You thought this massage ball moment was going to be amazing. That was really intense. Well, hopefully you feel like a lot more movement going on. We'll put these off to the side for now. We're going to do 2 exercises to kind of open up just a little bit more through our chest. And then we'll work with our diaphragm in the second one. So the first one we're going to do is our supported fish move. We've done this one before. This is where you grab your blanket and you do a little suture roll. And then you'll end up putting this underneath your spine. And then you'll want your blocks to be underneath your hands. So we're going to lay like this, right, with our feet bent and our elbows out in line with our shoulders. So as we come down over the blanket, so you're kind of roughly tailbone. You want your head to be falling off the opposite edge of the blanket. Elbows up at shoulder height, and then hands, back of the hands resting on your blocks. Knees bent, feet flat on the floor. Yeah, gives me. Okay.
Yeah, just box.
Hey, everybody. Okay, so this is the first thing. Then do a little tailbone tuck. So your low ribs come a little more towards the ground and your tailbone kind of slightly lifts up, but don't let your lower back come off the floor. Press a little into your heels and then see if you can almost get like a magnet effect of your heels kind of pulling back without moving to engage your hamstrings, the backs of your legs. And then we're going to hang out here and breathe. So we've got a little stability going on with our lower body. Deep breath in through your nose. Open mouth, exhale. Good. Breathe in through your nose. Nice exhale, back up through your mouth. You might feel these low ribs kind of dig down a little bit as you exhale. Now pause at the bottom, put your tongue on the roof of the mouth, hold it. 3, 2, 1. Inhale through your nose. Open mouth, exhale, low ribs down. Pause at the bottom, tongue up, hold it. 3, 2, 1. We got 3 more like that. Inhale through your nose. A little blowing up your balloon on the exhale. Hold it at the bottom. 3, 2, 1. Inhale, make sure you still got that heel drag going, hamstring still on. Blow up your balloon on your exhale. Pause at the bottom. 3, 2, 1. One more time through. Inhale. Exhale. Pause at the bottom. Good, and release. Whew. Nice. All right, we got one more exercise, kind of similar to that. We'll push our blocks out of the way. We won't need these. And then we'll need your blanket. Just fold it up like a pillow. Move that a bit too so you can see me a little bit better. And you're going to place it underneath your shoulder and your head. Your shoulders and your head. So it's just like, oh, hey, I'm just hanging out here. I'm comfortable. Feet still on the floor. About hip width distance. Knees are bent. And now we're going to reach your arms up towards the ceiling. We're going to do that same kind of magneting your heels back towards your glutes. You've got this engagement that happens in your hamstrings. Slight tailbone lift, lower back presses down towards the floor. So you're feeling like your core is engaged, your hamstrings are engaged. Got it? And then arms reach up. Take a breath in through your nose. As you exhale, really blow up your balloon and dig your low ribs down to the ground. Try not to make your neck turn on. So you want to keep your neck relaxed. But lower body, nothing's going to change there. Everything's going to continue to engage and just hold. As you inhale, move your back of your hands towards your head slightly. So like you're going overhead. And then pause, breathe in. Or that was your breathe in, rather. As you exhale, dig your lower ribs down. Inhale, move your hands back like an inch. Pause there. Exhale, lower, dig down. Good. Breathe in, arms move an inch back. Notice how your breaths can get bigger. And then blow out. We got 2 more. Inhale as your arms go back an inch. Notice how big you can breathe in. Pause, dig your lower ribs down. Last one, arms move back like you're close to the floor. Breathe all the way in. And then push your lower down. Good. Release and hug your knees in toward your chest. Whew. Big full breaths on that one. It's helping to let the diaphragm ascend a little bit higher. Working on extending through the bottom part of our thoracic spine. So better thoracic extension. Nice. Okay, from here we're going to sit up. And let's take a moment to settle into our breath. That's it for these crazy exercises, although nothing's ever normal in this class, is it? Good. All right, we'll just want to make sure your blocks kind of stay handy. And then we'll take a comfortable seat. However you like to sit, doesn't have to be cross-legged. Let's close your eyes. Kind of settle in. Try to stack your shoulders over your hips. Make sure you can feel your sits bones. And then as you inhale, you can get a little bit taller through the crown of your head. As you exhale, relax your shoulders down your back. Good. Do that a few more times. Just finding this feeling of being stacked. Like tall, deep. Breathe in. Breathe out. Okay, let's see if the next time you breathe, you can get even all the way that upper back expansion. Breathe out. Can you breathe all the way through 360 degrees around your rib cage? And back out. Good, do that one more time. This feeling of expanding outward. And then as you exhale, it comes back in. Perfect. From here, you can blink your eyes open. We're gonna find some bars for our shoulders. Those are controlled articulated rotations. So we're gonna move my hands or my shoulder blades. We're gonna go up, forward, down, and in. So it looks like this. Up, forward, down, and in. So lifting up, and then protraction, depression, retraction. Make sense? So it's kind of like a circle, but we're just breaking it down into 4 parts. Now, it's just the shoulder blades, it's not your traps. Okay, here we go. So shoulder blades lift up, and they go forward, and they come down your back, and then they go retraction towards one another. Let's go a couple more times that direction. So up, forward, down. As you come down, make sure you're not arching through your back and lifting your low ribs up, and then back together. One more time. Lift, protract, depress, retract. Good, let's reverse. So go depress, so down your back, and then come forward, and then go up, and then go together. Okay? So down, forward, up, and together. Not the traps, though. Down, forward. I know it's hard to distinguish between those. Up, and together. One more time. Down, forward, up, and together. Good. Shake it out. Let it all go. Just trying to connect our brain to moving our shoulder blades around a little bit. Good. All right, let's head into our tabletop from here. Okay, so coming into some cat-cows to start. So plant your hands on your inhale, drop your belly, gaze forward. Exhale, round back. Okay, so right away, notice where your shoulder blades are. As you inhale, drop your belly and come forward. Do we drop our shoulder blades? Exhale, round. Come back to neutral spine. Let's do this a little differently. So at neutral spine, look at your fingertips. Remember how we were talking about pressing into the ground earlier in class? So press through like that space between your thumb and your first finger into the ground. So we feel that retraction we were just practicing without our necks turning on. Now, inhale, drop your belly, gaze forward, kind of keep that pressing into the ground action happening. And then exhale, round. Without tucking your chin to your chest, just look at your fingertips and press your hands into the ground. Good, pause here, breathe in this position. Exhale, can you pull your low ribs in a little bit tighter? One more time. Inhale, stay here. Exhale, low ribs pull in even more. Good. This time, inhale, drop your belly, gaze forward, let it all go. Exhale, round back. Good. Back to neutral spine. Find a couple more circles in this tabletop position. So without bending at your elbows, can you find each of those 4 positions? And then reverse. So we got a little bit of load here. Sometimes that makes it a little bit easier to find. Also, changing our relationship to gravity can make it harder or easier to find these positions. Good. Okay, sit back for a second. Come off your arms, shake it out. Do a couple of circles for your wrist. Good, reverse. Now let's interlace your fingers and push your palms away. Tuck your chin to your chest, and then just round to the upper part of your back. So you stretch that space between your shoulder blade and your spine. We're going to need that a lot today. Let's inhale, go palms towards your heart. Find a little bit of upper back extension. Exhale, press away. Inhale, pull it in. One more time. Exhale, press it away. Inhale, pull it in. Good. Shake it up. Good. Okay, we're coming back to hands and knees just for one more thing. And then we're gonna do some thoracic extension. So we've done this one before, but I wanted to bring to mind that like pressing the ground away. So if like you're coming to the up part of a push-up and then you do just a little bit more. So you want to hold that position. Let's go right hand behind your head. So we're feeling this in the left shoulder. And then tap your right elbow to your left or as close as you can. And then as you inhale, continue pressing left hand into the ground, but lift your right elbow up. So we're doing a little twist and then exhale, tap it. So we're going to continue to move in that direction without losing that like little bit extra in this left shoulder. Can you guys feel that as we go? It's tough, especially as you lift your elbow up towards the ceiling. Don't lose it. So this is where that stability comes in and really like harnessing the strength of those muscles around the shoulder blade. But it's hard. One more time. Lift it up. Tap it in. Good. Now set your right hand down, shake out the left. And then it'll be left hand's turn. Do we need a sec? Take a sec. Come off your hands. We'll just roll it out just for a second. I don't want this to be like too wild. We got a lot of shoulder stuff. Let's pace ourselves. Okay. Right hand down this hand. Actually go both hands down just so we can really find this. Now find that pressing through your hands and then go a little bit more. Make sure low ribs pull in. If you want to blow up through your straw, find it. That's helpful. Go for it. Now keep that. Left hand comes up. Tap first. So tap elbow to elbow. And then inhale. And lift. As you exhale, low rib comes in on that right side. Inhale, expand. Exhale, tap. Inhale, expand. Nice, exhale, tap. Okay, give me 3 more, just like that. Make sure you're pressing the right arm super hard, your right hand into the ground. And then that extension through the shoulder. Last one, tap. And lift. And tap. And come down. Good. Shake it out. Off your wrist, circle it out. Can you tell? Like that little bit extra just like adds so much more. Yeah. Okay, good. Ooh, quick water break. And then we're going to head into one more lat stretch before we bring all this full circle into some salutations. Okay. Grab your block. We're going to do a mix of a child's pose with a lat stretch. So a sideways view of this. So bottom half of your body is going to be in child's pose. As we come down, we're going to bring our elbows. It's pretty close together, and then we're going to put your block between your hands. You might remember this from the week or a couple of weeks ago. We did something like this. So the block can be whatever height works for you. Now, you don't want it just between your hands because then your wrists will just come together like this. So we want the wrists to be opening. Our lats are internal rotators, so we need to externally rotate them to stretch them. So bring your elbows pretty close together, the block between your wrists, and then head comes down, elbows bend, block comes back. We should feel your lats as we come back. You guys feel that? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Good. Okay, just take a couple of breaths here, nice and slow.
Is this the one we did on the chair?
This is, yeah. Yeah, this is not bringing chairs in. How can we like keep things a little simpler, right? Okay, let's go one more breath in and out. Nice and slow. Come on up. Woo. Take a sec. Circle that out. Hopefully everybody's feeling ready to roll. We're feeling pretty good? Yeah. Awesome. All right. Okay, again, keep that block handy. We're going to head back to our downward facing dog. So go ahead and set yourself up. Before you press back, Find that like up of a push-up and then just a little bit extra. So the low ribs are in, you're rounding through the upper back, curling your back toes under, press back to downward facing dog without losing that little bit extra in the shoulders. Nice. That's it. Now bend your knees, one knee and then the other a few times, shake it out. We can move dynamically through the lower body while we're still supporting through the shoulders, but it takes some thought to do that. So try to, separate your consciousness a little bit into multiple places of your body. Move it around. Good. All right, let's inhale, gaze forward. As you exhale, lift your heels, shift your weight towards your hands. Again, find that push up plus a little bit, and then step up to the top of your mat. And let that help you find just a little bit more space at the top. We'll pause in a ragdoll, feet about hip width. Good. You can take your hands to your elbow creases, and let's find some kind of side-to-side movement. So it could be a sway, it could be just like one leg for a little while, and then the other.
No, Becky. I told you while I'm doing his pose.
Okay, let's take one more breath in. As you exhale, release your hands, and then we'll inhale up halfway lift. So always options, hands to shins, or for a little extra, arms can reach out at their sides. And then exhale, lower. Inhale, come all the way up to standing. Good, and then we'll find our side bend here. And the exhale, we'll lean over to the right side. You can grab a hold of your wrist. Let's try to find those lats again. So low ribs pull in the front so that we get a back stretch. And then inhale, come to center. Exhale, switch. Yeah, that's it. Inhale, come to center. Good. Strong core. As you exhale, elbows to goalpost. Low ribs push in, and then we'll look up and lean back. Tongue to the roof of your mouth, nice and strong through your core. Inhale, reach back up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. As you exhale, plant your hands. Come to plank. Hold it here for a moment. Good. Can you find that top of a push-up and then just a little bit extra? Head in line with your spine. Try not to use your neck. Your neck is relaxed. Take a big breath in. Good. Now as you exhale, lower your knees and then drop to your elbows. Okay, we're going to do some scapular push-ups. We're going to play around with this position a little bit. So scapular push-ups, so watch my shoulder blades, are lifting and lowering. Now, when your arms are straight, you can't use your elbows. But if we start at your elbows, you can kind of get the feel for it here. So it's the shoulder blades coming in and touching each other. And then you're getting that like push-up plus. So up and down a couple of times. So we'll find this, go for about 10 of these. Try not to lead with your chin. You want to lead with your chest. Nice. Okay, now can you come back to your hands, stay on your knees, and find that same movement with your shoulders without bending your elbows? Good. Again, leading with your chest, not your chin. Good. Press into that space between your thumb and your first finger. Every time you come to the top, it's like 4, 3, 2. Woo! Last one. Okay, all the way down to your belly. Let's take a little rest. Everybody all right? Feeling it? Good. Let's pause here. Stack your hands. Let your forehead rest for a moment. Bend your knees. Let your feet go side to side. Relax it when you come here. Good. All right, y'all. Feet down, hands plant, back to tabletop. Breathe in. Exhale, round through your back. We're press into the ground. Inhale, drop your belly, gaze forward. Exhale, down dog. So as you come back to neutral, pull your low ribs in, curl your toes under, find that little extra press, and then push back. Downward facing dog. Perfect. Pause here for a moment. Good. Take a big breath in. And a big breath out. You still feel that engagement around your shoulder blades. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, shift. Walk up to the top. Use that like little extra pressing into the ground to help create more space for your feet to come to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, stand. Exhale, lean to the right. Inhale to center. Exhale to the left. Inhale, center. Exhale, little back bend. Use your core. Shoulders squeeze back. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plank pose. Good. All right. So another set, scapula push-ups. Option to drop to knees or elbows or both, or to stay on your toes and your hands. And we'll move through another set of those scapular push-ups. If you're staying up on your hands, you're not using your elbows, but every time you come to the top, no matter where you are, there's a little extra push getting that upper back towards the ceiling. Here's 3, 2. Last one, push, and then drop it down. Woo, nice. Now let's pause here. We'll come into a cobra. Walk your hands back so your elbows are about 90 degrees. Pause at the bottom, take a breath in. As you exhale, low ribs pull in, blow up your balloon. And then inhale, peel up, keeping your core engaged. Nice. And then exhale, lower back down. Inhale to tabletop. Look at your fingertips. Exhale, round through your back with that little extra. Inhale, drop and gaze forward. Nice, good. Back to downward facing dog. Curl your toes, press back. Nice work, everybody. Good. Take a big breath in. A big breath out. Good. Feet together, back of your mat. Inhale, right leg kicks up nice and high. Now, make sure you're still pressing into the ground. You got that little extra. As you exhale, knee to nose, shift forward. Now, step your foot between your hands. We'll rise up for warrior 2. So your back foot spins down. Your hands can stay on the floor to facilitate that. And as you come up, we'll windmill the arms around. So your right arm is forward, your left arm is back. Take a moment to bend a few times. Make sure your feet are in the right spot. Nice. And we'll enjoy being off your hands for a sec. Let your shoulders relax. If you need a moment to like shake it out, feel free to go for that. And let's reach arms out whenever you're ready. Okay, now we're gonna add in a little bit of nice kind of shoulder mobility moves here. So reach a little forward with your front hand. At the same time, like you're opening a doorknob, twist your arm forward. And then as you go back, so we'll reach through your back arm and we'll twist the same doorknob the opposite way. So we'll just move back and forth, opening and closing doorknobs here for a few moments. Yeah, so both arms are twisting. Yes. And then try to make sure that you feel that go all the way up into your shoulder joints. Good, so it's not a move that's really moving your torso, other than, a little forward and back. It's from the shoulders to your fingertips. Nice. Good. Okay, and then we'll come back to that normal warrior 2, palms down. Take a big breath in. Nice slow exhale. Good, now reach forward again. Use your core first. So take a breath in. As you exhale, blow up your balloon. And then reach from the core. Now, drop your right arm inside your right leg. Left arm reaches up towards the ceiling. So it's a nice big side angle. Press your right arm and leg together so you create tension at your core and your shoulder and then your glute. Press into your right heel. Good. Take one more breath in here. Now, don't let your front leg move. As you inhale, reverse your warrior. Right arm reaches up and back. Good. Breathe in. Get these low ribs to pull in on your exhale. Nice, that's it. All right, y'all. We're heading down to side plank. Left hand's gonna be your base. So we'll come through warrior two. This back arm, left hand's gonna reach down. We'll spin down, planting left hand, coming to side plank. So right leg steps back. You can always drop left knee to the ground, okay? Can you get that same pressing into the hand and just a little bit extra, so super stable in the left shoulder joint. Now, right arm either stays straight up or you're gonna move it like a giant flag up and down. For 3, come into regular plank in 2. And 1, good, left hand plants, right hand rather. Let's step your right leg forward, we'll drop left knee to the ground in a runner's lunge. Good, pause here. If your block is handy and you want to use it, you could. Do you want to? Woo. Good, maybe you're on elbows, maybe you're on fists. Take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Good, okay. Starting to press again into your hands. We'll step the right leg back. Let's come into hands and knees just for a moment here. We're gonna grab your blocks and put them in front of you. You went over them like this, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna do a move here. Hopefully you guys are into this. This is like the craziest thing we're gonna do. Except for the other option for the super crazy thing right at the end. We're gonna move laterally in our planks. So we've got like something to come up onto. So let's do our plank a little bit off to one side. So you can be up on your toes or you can stay down on your knees. So we're finding our plank a little bit offset and then finding that pushing into the ground with a little bit extra. Now we're gonna walk our hands up to our blocks. Nice. And then back down the other side. Okay? Good. And we'll go the other way. So up to the blocks. Pause in the middle. Make sure you've got that extra little press. Head in line with your spine. Step them back down. Nice. Good. Okay, lower down. Woo. And then we'll set them off to the side. Don't worry, we'll have another chance at that in a little bit. All right, and then we'll lower down to our belly. Cobra pose, hands block back. Pause here at the bottom for a sec, take a big breath in. As you exhale, find your low ribs. Inhale, peel up. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, tabletop. Exhale, round. Look at your fingertips. Press through your hands. Inhale, drop your belly gaze forward. Exhale to downward facing dog. Make sure you've got that press first and then curl back and find it. Pause here, breathe in. And breathe out. All right, feet together, back of your mat, left leg this time, reach it up. Big breath in. Make sure you keep pressing into your hands. Exhale, knee to nose, shift forward. Get that press up as you step your foot forward. And then we'll spin the back heel up. Warrior two as you rise, windmilling through the arms. Good, taking a moment to check in with your feet, your knees. Are you in the right spot? Good. All right, now we're gonna open and close the doorknobs again. All the doors here. Can you get the move to happen from your core? Because you're reaching back. It's not about shifting through the legs, right? It's just about the core. Forward. And back, but make sure that you're feeling that twist from your fingertips all the way into your shoulders. Okay. And then coming back to warrior two. You guys are missing all this cat drama here. Let's take a big breath in. Exhale, settle in. All right, from your core, inhale, reach, left arm comes down. Left arm to knee, right arm straight up towards the ceiling. Good. Pause here. Can you get a little more tension? Shoulders, core, glute, front side. Stack your knee right over your heel. Big breath in. Big exhale.
Stop. Stop.
And then inhale, reverse whenever you have your hands. All right, we're coming down to side plank in a sec. So your right hand's gonna be your base this time. So come through warrior two. Right hand comes forward. You're spinning on the ball of your back foot. Plop your hand down. Make sure you've got that press and then step back. So you could drop a knee and step your left leg back, or you can keep your knee lifted. And as you come down, or as you come back into your side plank, you can keep that leg up or down. It's totally up to you. Wherever you are, right shoulder, so strong because you're pressing into the ground so much, you're like arching through the bottom part of your rib cage here. Good. If you want a little bit more, this top arm's gonna wave forward and back. Yeah. 3, 2. Last one. Nice. Left arm plant, and then we'll step left leg forward and drop down into that nice runner's lunge. And then you can be on your hands, you can be on your fists, you can grab your block, bring it down your elbows. Just pausing for a moment. You guys remember this next move that we're heading to. So we're gonna come to this lateral plank, moving side to side once again in just a moment. So remember, you're really focusing on pressing into the ground, creating that upper back rounding. Good. Okay, let's scooch on back. We'll step your leg back. Again, we'll start on hands and knees and set yourself up so your blocks are in the middle part of your mat. We'll come off to one side. So if you want to be on your knees, be there. You could be on your elbows. You could walk it from your elbows, wherever you want to go. Here we go, from the side. Good, we're gonna go 2 passes each way. So let's come to the middle. Good, every time you move, you pause, check in. Is your head in line with your spine? Are you getting that little bit of extra press? Don't lose that, especially as we set down. Good, we'll come back. Second time through. Good, slow and controlled each time. Feel it, support it. Head in line with your spine. Good, last one. Nice, good, drop it down. Woo, set it down. Let's take a child's pose. We burn back. Knees open, toes touch, reach your arms forward. We'll just pause here. If you'd rather bring your knees together and reach your arms back behind you for a little bit less on the shoulders, also a great option. Nice. Couple of breaths here before we come into our last optional pose. And let's take one more big breath in. Nice, slow exhale. Nice. All right, so press yourself up to the tabletop and maybe take a seat on your heels for a second. So I'm gonna just throw out this last pose as an option that we can play with for like a minute or so on each side. Feel free to skip it, okay? So this is trying to put together all those pieces, but it's like the next level, right? So from downward facing dog, this is kicking your right leg up and then bending your knee and setting it on your elbow. So maybe you're just playing around with just getting that knee to your elbow. And as you're moving, really focusing on this upper back and keeping that really engaged. So that's option number 1. Option number 2 is to kick up, come forward, bring your left elbow to your hip, and then start to lift that back leg. And maybe both legs kick open. While you're doing that, you're still focusing on getting that support through your shoulders. So a little extra arm balance play if anybody wants that. So okay, let's do like a minute of that if you want it. If you're like, I'm done, that's okay. We can also be done. If that's you, then maybe it's back for another moment here. Child's pose, will reach your hands behind you, maybe even an embryo. So a couple moments to play with an arm balance on each side. So you could just play again with bringing your knee to your elbow and feeling how you can both get the shoulder support and the giant core move right there. Nice. A lot of times when we do this knee to nose, knee to elbow thing, we totally collapse through the shoulders.
There.
That's the tough shoulder. So great when the injured shoulder can do stuff. Even yourself out, and then we're gonna make our way onto our back. So we're gonna come into a nice giant banana pose on the floor. So go ahead and whenever you're ready, we'll make our way back down. Make sure you're evened out. All right. So for banana pose, imagine that your hips are glued to the ground and everything's gonna walk over to the left. So legs will walk to the left, arms come overhead and then they walk to the left, but your hips stay glued. Now you could cross your left ankle on top of your right, sort of hold it in on that side. And then you could cross your, let's see, stack your right hand into your left palm. You kind of hold that left palm, or right palm rather, with your left fingertips. So you're sort of pulling yourself into that right side. So you should feel, remember that lat stretch we did at the beginning? Like big side stretching here. Now, once you kind of settle in, can you breathe into the right side of your rib cage and really fill up and expand? Let's take one more breath in here. And exhale. Perfect. And we'll walk through the middle. Whew. Okay, then we're glued on the other side. So hips stay where they are. Arms can work over to the right. Legs can walk over to the right. And now the outside holds the inside. So the right leg comes on top of the left. And the left hand drops into the right palm, and the right hand kind of holds onto it gently. So big stretch into that left side this time. Can we expand into the left side of the rib cage? Think about that area around your lats. Can you breathe in and find some more expansion there? Okay, let's take one more breath in. And we'll stay for the exhale. Okay, so then slowly coming back into the middle, hug our knees in, and a little bit of slow movement. Nice. And when you're ready, we'll make our way into final Shavasana. So however you'd like to take that today, you can just be on your back, you can keep your knees bent, you could grab your sushi roll from your supported fish at the beginning if you wanted to come back into one of those stretches. Everybody, let's take one more slow breath in. And a nice slow exhale. Take a moment to wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. Nice. And we'll interlace your fingers on your inhale, press your palms away from you. As you exhale, hug your knees in towards your chest. Good, and then we'll slowly make our way back up to a comfortable seat. Together, you can rock and roll, or you can roll to your side. Nice, let's take hands together at our heart. The light in me honors, bows, and surrenders to the light within each of you. Namaste. Thanks for celebrating with me, guys.
My shoulder feels so open right now.